During the 6th week, we looked at the game as a whole and picked things that needed improving. This was influenced by our session at the Euston Enterprise Hub, meeting Ian Turnbull and gaining vital feedback from him along with many others. At this point there wasn't a tutorial, so a bit of guidance was needed. 3 areas of the game were confusing: swiping shapes, and placing the seeds where they're needed, and connecting all this with the target on the top left. He questioned the direction of gravity. One of our major changes was to flip gravity so it acted as you'd expect. This made it much more intuitive for first-time players, easing the learning curve and ultimately reducing the amount new players have to process at the beginning. We also started coming up with different background designs and how we would like to create different moods to provide content. We split them into 3 sections: backgrounds, midgrounds and foregrounds, which all give a mix of colour, stars, flowers and weather effects to spark more emotion, and allow for the player to follow Ruya on her journey and the feeling of progression as they match the game world with different chapters in the level select. The 7th week we added the logic behind power-ups. We've added 3 types: one that switches 2 seeds, the bomb which removes 1 seed, and the colour bomb which removes seeds of the same colour as the one that has been tapped. We want players to feel good about using them and feel clever in foreseeing how one might help towards completing the level. A bunch of animation fixes were made, and we also got the new launcher working. We are now showing 2 seeds so the player can plan ahead 1 move in advance. Taking into account the direction of the game design that has been made, we realised that the up-tempo bouncy themes already written for the game weren't really fitting the new mood. The new Ruya wants to communicate a sense of peace and a more relaxing atmosphere. This needed to be reflected by the background music, which has been stripped down to fewer layers and dropped in BPM, from the bouncy 120 down to a more chill-out 90. In week 9 we managed to complete our first tutorial. We playtested it and found some clear problems. Players struggled to connect what they're swiping with what their target was. Our first iteration was to highlight the specific area and use the keyword match, then show what to swipe. We've separated the tap tutorial on the 2nd level along with showing the different gestures with an icon. What we have found most challenging in these 10 weeks has been following our philosophy to design by subtraction without losing clarity and the player's understanding of their objectives. Ruya has received amazing feedback, but we're still a long way from completion. We plan to clarify the player's goal for each level and fix other design issues that cause a bit of confusion. We want to build more levels as we introduce new mechanics across different chapters and let players experience Ruya's journey as she floats along her path to enlightenment. It's been a great journey participating in the programme. We'd like to thank Tranzfuser for allowing us to be on the competition, and we'd also like to thank Euston Enterprise Hub for providing the space. Keep looking on our Twitter and we can't wait for you to play.